Hey, Will, welcome to the Friday Flow.
Hey Jordan, you sound excellent, I might add.
Because I have my mic. Got a new sweet mic. I got to get a stand for it, like a better stand. Because right now I'm like just up on it. I feel like way too close to the computer, but that's okay. It's because I have to be. Because if I'm back, you can't hear me that well, right?
I feel no, not at all.
Yep.
I feel like the
Yep. See?
prevalence of these new mics that everyone seems to have, especially for podcasts, they just look so in your face on the cameras. I
What
feel
do you
like
mean?
they need to do some AI. They need to do some like green screen
It's
magic
like barely
to remove
noticeable.
them. I think we can remove them with AI in the future, and then people can have the sound without the obnoxious piece in their face. But good to see you. Happy Friday flow.
Happy Friday Flow. It'll be a quick one today because we're both in a hurry. I got to get out of here. My in laws are in town. I'm going wine tasting.
Sounds like a
It's
tough
crazy.
Friday.
It's gonna be a
Let's
tough
get
Friday.
into
It's
it.
gonna be very. It's gonna be very tough. All right,
I want to
here we
kick
go.
things off with some news that broke the timeline yesterday and get your thoughts. Obviously, we use a lot of AI at Woflow. We play around with tools. That's what most of the show seems to be about. The vibe coding tools of the hour, Cursor, Replit, all the other ones. Big news for Windsurf. So Windsurf is another IDE AI agent product, just similar to Cursor. OpenAI, it got leaked, is in talks to purchase them for 3 billion. That's with a B dollars
Damn.
for like a 1 year old company. Jordan, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, it's good for them. Good for them. I did hear that there were talks previously with Cursor. Those were also
Spicy.
leaked. I don't. I think it was pre blow up. I think it was before they were like super popular. So I don't think the valuation was high. I mean, I think it sounds like a great deal for Windsurf. It sounds like a great deal for OpenAI. I hope it happens.
What does OpenAI stand to gain from owning this? Do you think it's a data play? And would you
I
feel comfortable
don't
that our
actually.
data is going into OpenAI?
Possibly, I haven't thought about that. They are a consumer company, right? Like OpenAI has they started out just trying to be a foundational model company, but they realized that they're making so much revenue on ChatGPT that they are now a consumer company. Like a huge portion of their product team and a huge portion of their team in general is focused on the consumer facing applications. Doesn't surprise me that they want to double down on that. A huge demographic of their user base are engineers, and so there's a lot of people non-engineers using ChatGPT, and so now they want to kind of double down on the user base of engineers, and so the interface for them is Cursor or Windsurf, so it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. They want to own the other surface that people are
Yep.
going to interact with it. People are going to interact with chatbot. People are going to interact with their models via an IDE. This makes sense. And it's probably a question of like, you either build it or you buy it. And interesting that they might want to buy it given the price tag. That seems pretty crazy. I think for $3 billion, they could probably build a pretty good IDE, given that
What's
they're
their
all on
what's their
top of,
valuation now?
I don't even know.
It's
I
massive.
thought it's like 80, wasn't it?
No, 300, I
Bigger?
think. I think it's 300.
Okay. 300, yeah. There you
Yeah,
go. So
300.
it's just
So
1% of
what's
their business.
3
It's easy.
bill? It's fine.
Especially the other news, and we can move on, but the other news that's out there is that they're looking to launch a X competitor. So, I
Yes.
thought this was very interesting. They want to get into social media. I don't necessarily think it's for the social media. I actually think that is a data play because I think um, the real asset that Grok has, which is XAI's model, and actually one I use quite a lot, that's very reliable for like very real time analysis,
Sorry,
is
my
the
niece and
fact that it's
nephew are
connected.
running around and just like blew into my office. So
That's awesome. Yeah, the Twitter feed in, so the real time voice of the town square in to your model is an insane data asset. So I think the goal there is that they want to own something similar. But we've seen that Threads is pretty trash. I don't know how they're gonna bring the mind share over to an OpenAI social media platform. It feels like most people that try and launch one, Google tried to launch one as well. They kind of fail. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of that.
we'll see. We'll see. All right. 5 minutes in. the real docket. We got note-taking apps. Actually, we're just gonna stick with note-taking apps. That's gonna be our docket for the day. If we have bonus time, we'll get into it. What do you use? Actually, I know what you use, but let's just tell people.
You can't sit back like that because no one can hear you.
No, let me redo that. What do you?
Thanks for asking. Yeah, I feel like the call recording, screen recording, note taking space is really blown up of recent years, to the point where I sometimes enter a meeting room, there's already 3 AI note takers in there, and I'm like the only human, and no one else is there yet, and I'm like, why? So I'm like, there's a future world here where people send their bots into meetings because they can't make it. Kind of like a chief of staff, they just send their note taker in to take the meeting and then leave. That's pretty wild. So yeah, I think it makes sense that Zoom shows that there's something recording you in the room, and I think there's probably laws around that as well. But it's very annoying when you get all these extra little screens showing up when you're just trying to have a meeting. But it's become a little bit more normalized now. I think we were early users and proponents of Fathom as a business. That's been really successful for us. The recording facility of that is great. The search functionality is good. I think the meeting notes are more to be desired, but the way of being able to like quickly share that with the meeting attendees and things like that has been really, really helpful for us. The one I use personally is called Granola. It's a European-based startup that's been absolutely crushing it. It's not a recorder, so it doesn't sit within the Zoom recording as such. It's not keeping a video log or a voice log, but what it's doing is it's generating a transcript, and it's just using the mic. So it's hearing when I talk, it's going to know that that's me. If it hears the sound from the computer, then it knows that that's the people that you're in the conversation with. And it takes a transcript. It's a really beautiful note taker as well. A very simple note taker, just not dissimilar to the Notes app by Apple or a Notion app. And you take your notes as you go, and then afterwards you press a button and it enhances the notes, and so you see this cool gimmick, but looks really great, and it adds the apps and adds the notes. And I found that the note summarization is far superior with Granola than anything else that I've used. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think I showed you Granola, right? Did I introduce it to you?
You did.
Yes, I thought so. I found it and I love it immediately. I was like, this is way better than Fathom, in my opinion. Going back to your original point of having a million AI note takers just hanging out in Zoom, that pisses me off. It's just so annoying. I told everyone on my team, I was like, don't invite your note taker if you're not going to come, because it also just shows me that you're not in the meeting, because it's just like blatantly your note taker is there. So it does bother me. I think I get the idea, and I think it's nice. I know for a fact, 1% of those are ever listened to. So, like, I know they're like just sitting in the meeting. No one's ever going to listen to them, so it's kind of useless.
Data that's too cheap to meter. You might as well have it recorded, though, right?
I guess that's true. But I
I
love
find it very
Granola.
interesting. Yeah, Granola's great from a note-taking standpoint, far superior, and they spend a lot of time on design, which I think both of us very much appreciate. They've got a lot of style in there. I will say the other one that we're looking in, and I think what this comes down to is like how integrated is the product. So Fathom isn't very integrated. It obviously is connected to your calendar. It's connected to a couple of things like that. It has snippets of ways of influencing you. So example, Fathom has a little timer, so when you're talking, if you're going off on a long verbose tangent, it actually starts showing a color that you maybe need to slow down the speaking or let someone else interject, green, yellow, red. And so that's helpful from like a sales perspective. You want to like make sure that you are having a conversation, you're not just pushing what you're trying to sell onto someone, and you're giving them the opportunity to speak. So it actually is good that it gives you that. One thing that I think is really helpful for sales people in general is, can you splice in more information, more data? And so the version of this, and I'll share my screen, that I think is very interesting is, what if you baked it directly into your CRM? Could you have more success with that? And so the new CRM that we're using here at Woflow is called Attio. It's a super cool product. It's built for the AI first generation. And they have a call recorder. And so they have the same thing as a Fathom. It obviously summarizes notes. It integrates that nicely back into the CRM after you've had the conversation with the action items, and you can move from there. What they've also launched very recently is what they're calling call intelligence, and actually provides you, supposedly, I haven't used this yet, but provides you with that data live when you need it, when you're having those conversations. So if you're talking with your contact and you're doing a new sale, for instance, it might give you information that you could have prepared prior to a call, but often sales reps that are busy might not have as much time to do that. It's going to go and get that data, extract it from the internet, bring it over using AI, pad out your meeting insights ahead of time, but also while you're on the call. Maybe it's going to give you AI agents are going out there. Maybe you mentioned something live on a call and the AI agent's going to go out there and figure out. We were talking about what's the valuation of OpenAI. It could pop up. You can imagine it could pop up and tell you what the valuation is. You don't need to go search for it yourself. So it's taking it that step further than just being a simple note taker or a simple summarizer after a call, and actually giving you live insights as you have a conversation. What do you think about that?
I love that. I think that example is perfect. I did see you go off and check what is the evaluation of OpenAI. Why'd you have to do that? That's so much work, Will. I don't want you to have to go do that. I want it just to pop up.
So that's it. So I'm very excited to start playing with this. We haven't yet started using it within Attio, but I think that's going to be just a snippet of what the future is going to be, where we're integrating more of these things together. And it's typical to start with any new product as a first version of it, and that might be note-taking or it might be summarizing, and then it's how do we expand from there. And I think live insights, super cool idea, and it makes sense that the CRM would be the canvas that's going to bring that together, because that's where a lot of your customer data already exists, and so they're going to be doing that, which I think is super cool.
Awesome. Cool. Well, that does it for today. Thank you, Will. Now I have to go off and drink some Pinot Noir.
You have to, yeah.
I have to. It's a requirement.
Yeah, don't struggle too much on this Friday. It sounds like you have a good day planned. I'll hold down the fort here at Woflow HQ out of my new office at home. But yeah, we'll see you on the next Friday Flow.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Happy Friday.